Not everybody knows what it's like to be falsely accused. Not everybody knows what it's like to have a county attorney drop the case 2 weeks later and say there's no evidence, no probable cause, but yet DCFS can hold on to your child. Not everyone's gonna know what it's like to not have protests for you and your child, to not have anybody advocate for you and send out emails and phone calls to everybody out there. Not everybody knows what it's like to be walked all over and to lose every single constitutional right. Not everyone's going to know what it's like to also be financially abused from DCFS, can't get child support, not allowed to get paternity testing done, not allowed COVID money because your child's not in your possession, not allowed anything, not allowed financial support, loans, scholarships for parents and children. Why are the police allowed to falsely accuse someone, and then why is DCFS allowed to hold a child hostage? And why are they allowed to lie about parents and children and sell children out? Why is it that in Utah you're allowed to sell children out and not notify the parents and not do mandatory paternity testing, and not notify the biological fathers? Your law in Utah says, in case no one else knows, in Utah, if you have a child, they can adopt the kid out without your knowledge if you are a biological father that hasn't been in your kid's life because maybe he was just born. Various reasons. This is out of control. The government is out of control, and sadly, a lot of people worship the police because they don't study news articles and documentaries clearly of false accusations that go on thousands and thousands a year. Sadly, people are uneducated about things that matter most, and too many people are talking about nonsense every single day, and nobody actually talks about things that matter most. When 70 to 80% of prisoners, which means murderers, big crimes, were a foster child, that should matter to people. But yet there's psychiatrists and other people and a lot of other people that think that foster kids don't get traumatized. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They know who their parents are, and when you strip them of their rights of being with their parent, yeah. I believe that adult children that grew up in the foster system should sue the DCFS system for taking them away from their parents, especially if you're abused, neglected, and I know a lot of people who are abused and neglected and molested in foster care. So I believe that people should sue DCFS for separating them from their parents and sue the cops from separating you from your parents. A lot of people need to start suing. Civil lawsuit. Please do it. I would love to see more of those happening. They want to strip people of their rights and then wonder why they're upset and wonder why they're holding everybody accountable and making complaints left and right. America is so dead and gone. It's not a safe place for children. It's not a safe place for parents. When they can strip you of your rights, lie about you nonstop, you prove evidence, witness statements, and they're allowed to hold on to your kid. Yeah, this is out of control. Yes, the government is not safe, and the general population is not safe for me and my child. When anyone can falsely accuse, and despite evidence and witness statements, that you can hold on to a child and traumatize the fuck out of him, and then abuse him and neglect him and seek to molest him, that's exactly what's going on. Yes, it's legal kidnapping. Yes, it's legal human trafficking, DCFS cases, 100%. And people need to get educated. And sadly, who silenced? Who are the majority of the victims? They're the kids of drug users and alcoholics, and they don't speak up for their rights because they have been brainwashed into thinking that they are a problem or that they committed something that maybe they didn't actually do. And so they don't stand up for their rights. They're also abused children. A lot of drug users and alcoholics are abused children. And so, again, they've been silenced their entire life, and they haven't found their voice yet. A lot of people haven't found their voice yet. So they don't take a stand. And a lot of people have been victimized so badly that they don't even know that they're innocent. So many people don't even know that they're innocent because the world has brainwashed them into thinking that they're the problem and that they did something wrong, even if they did not. America needs to wake up and get educated about the false accusations, the false statements by police and DCFS left and right, and by judges labeling people child abusers that never abuse their kids. Yes, this is going on inside of America, inside of Utah, in Cedar City, Utah. Okay, enough is enough of the bullshit. The truth needs to be spoken left and right. And it's disgusting when there's no protest going on, but yet a woman can have breast cancer and everybody in the universe rallies around somebody that loses a fucking boob. A boob, dude. Even if they're 30, even if they're 50, 60-year-old women that already had children, already breastfed, and people are rallying around them because of a fucking lost boob, for God's sakes. And how about the homosexuals and abortion rights? Everybody's rallying against them and for them, but nobody rallies against women in DCFS cases that are falsely accused. It is disgusting, and men that are in DCFS cases falsely accused. It is disgusting. Nobody gives a fuck about children or babies being with their fucking children, and children being with their mothers and fathers, and stripping them of their rights for 18 goddamn years, and nobody sees a fucking problem with this. And then you can pretend you care about crimes and murders, yet nobody's fighting for the children's rights. Nobody's fighting for their rights. And everybody's going to pretend that even if somebody was a drug user or an alcoholic, everybody's going to pretend that they're a problem, and that they abuse their kid, even though they didn't. Plenty of them did not abuse their kids. But since everybody's brainwashed into thinking that they're the bad people in America, nobody questions the government ever, ever, ever. So, yeah, who's to tell who's falsely accused? The paperwork, dude, the witness statements. That is not hard to tell. Anyone with a fucking goddamn brain, it's not hard to tell who's falsely accused, dude. When you have papers and audios and videos of proof of somebody's innocence, but yet you're going to continually pretend that people are guilty when they're not. Okay, you're fucking wacko, psycho, when you still see evidence of somebody's innocence and you still pretend they're guilty. Okay, America is a fucked up country, very fucked up, even when people see evidence called videos that disprove somebody's homeless, and audios that disprove that they're fucking incoherent, that they're not incoherent. Yes, you are a problem, Mr. Jones and everybody else that pretends somebody's guilty even though they're not. Even though that every single paperwork, county attorney said there's no evidence, no probable cause to arrest, and then you're going to pretend there was probable cause for an arrest? You're going to pretend that this person's homeless even though you saw the house tour? I mean, give me a fucking break. You are clearly a psychopath, just like the government is a psychopath that thinks they can kidnap children and sell them out and pretend that this person's a drug addict who's homeless when they've never used drugs a fucking day in their life. Okay, you're psycho. When evidence doesn't fucking matter and it's supposed to matter, yes, this is a hate crime. It's discrimination. Yes, wrong. When the lawyers, you're pretending the lawyer said this and said that. When the county attorney drops a fucking case saying there's no probable cause, none, and you're going to still pretend this person's guilty. Okay, you are fucked up. You are a psycho. You see the house tour that clearly disproves a homeless claim. Okay, you can see a test you can see a video that's clearly, she's standing up for her rights. She said she had a million places to go, and you're going to still pretend she had no place to go. Okay, you are a psycho, dude. You are a psycho. I'm sure you saw the house tour and you're going to pretend I'm homeless? I'm sure you saw the negative drug test, but you're going to pretend I'm a drug addict? I mean, wake the fuck up, dude. You are a psycho. And you're going to pretend you know more than the county attorney that said there was no probable cause. You're going to pretend you know more. And you're going to pretend combative? What, like the little faggot Doug Spencer called me combative in court because I asked questions saying, what do I need to do to get my son back? Okay, in that house tour, what more do I need to do to get my son back, Doug? And he's allowed to call me combative and uncooperative in the next hearing a couple of days later? I mean, give me a fucking break. If we're going to pretend that CPS isn't against people and isn't trying to sell their kid out and molest them in order to molest them and abuse them and neglect them, you are obviously uneducated about what they do in DCFS, what they do to foster kids, what they do to adoptive kids. You obviously are uneducated about the numbers of child molestations. You're obviously uneducated about the numbers of abuse and neglect in foster homes and in adoptive homes. You're obviously uneducated about the numbers of prisoners called murderers and other large crimes that are all foster children, 70 to 80%. And yet you guys are going to pretend you care about crimes and murders, etc., etc. No, when the real criminals are cops and DCFS and judges and public defenders that do not do their jobs, that falsely accuse people because they have a job, are you going to pretend that police and DCFS and judges and lawyers don't have a job if they don't falsely accuse people? Are you going to pretend they have jobs? You're going to pretend they have no reason to falsely accuse people? Yes, they do have reasons. They would not have a fucking job if they didn't prey on the low-income men and women. Yes, they do not have a job unless they prey on low-income men and women. Do you hear that? Listen to that statement. They do not have a job unless they falsely accuse men and women, low-income people that can't fight for a lawyer because lawyers cost $10,000 and $20,000. Did you know that lawyers do not have payment plans? Did you know so many things about lawyers? Doubt it. I doubt you knew they cost $10,000. I doubt you knew lawyers don't have payment plans. I doubt you knew the public defenders all the time don't ask people if they have witnesses. All the time they don't ask people if they have evidences. I doubt you knew that judges discredit medical papers. I doubt you knew that judges discredit witness statements. I doubt you fucking knew it because I doubt you've ever studied a case, a DCFS case. I doubt you've ever once in your life studied a DCFS case. But people pretend they're experts, right? Left and right, people want to pretend they're experts, but they've never sat inside of a courtroom. They've never sat. They've also never listened to the stories, mass stories from drug users and alcoholics. I doubt you've ever once talked to a drug user or an alcoholic. Okay? I doubt you've ever listened to them and their stories and all those people that were falsely accused and all those children that were abused, neglected, and molested. I doubt you've ever met somebody that grew up in the DCFS system. I doubt you've ever met somebody that was in foster home or an adoptive home and they told you that they were abused, neglected, and molested. I doubt you've ever fucking met these people. But people like you pretend you're a fucking expert. Okay? You're a fucking psycho, dude. No, they should not lose their kids for 18 fucking years. That's called pedophilia. When you want to be allowed to touch the little children and touch teenagers, it's disgusting, dude. It's disgusting. No, it's wrong. Because how many people stay a drug addict or an alcoholic for 18 years? None of them. None of them. Okay? When they get the proper help called rehab, when they're allowed to have rehab, guess what? They sober up. Yes, they do. If people actually help the alcoholics and drug users, which some do, the minority fucking cares about them and their children, guess what? They do get sober and they do get their kids back, bitch. But because the majority don't help them, they kill themselves instead. And they're going to pretend they're against suicide, though. Fuck you. You're a fucking psychopath just like everybody else. You fucking suck their dicks and fuck their asses, and you think that's okay. You think that's okay to sell children out and legal human trafficking, legal sex work, and you're going to pretend this doesn't fucking exist. Do your fucking homework. I doubt you've ever, like I said, ever met somebody that grew up in the system, the DCFS system. I doubt you've ever met a foster, anyone that grew up in a foster fucking home. No, you've never met these people. That's why you talk shit and pretend you're a fucking expert, dude. You've never once met a foster person, a person that grew up in an adoption home. I've met so many people, man after man, woman after woman, for so many years, even before my case, that were molested, touched, dude, by a nasty pedophile. Okay, pretend this shit doesn't fucking exist. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right? There's a reason why they kill themselves, you fucking faggot retard. Go do your fucking research, because clearly you have not done it. That's why you stand for pedophilia. That's why you stand for pedophilia. You're a disgusting psychopath that thinks it's okay and normal to sell children out, normal to lie about their parents and pretend that they abused their kids, even though they did not. The witness statements and the evidence says, no, they didn't, actually. Fucking faggot.